Hey guys, what's going on? It's DJ with my bro Jeremy, man to the camera.
Hey guys, what's going on?
We're going to be talking about last night's episode of Walking Dead, the weekly recap. Last night's episode was called Coda. We're just going to get straight to the point pretty much. I'll just describe the very main plot and then just branch off from that. So last night's episode was them finishing the negotiation to get Carol and Beth back in exchange for the cops that they had. And Rick actually ended up killing one of them who ran from them, the one that knocked out Sasha during the last episode. Gave him a chance, and Rick's already at that stage where it's kind of like one and done. If you betray him, then he's just gonna cut you off, and that's what he did. He ran over the guy, broke his back, then shot him in the head. I'll just speak about the other things that happened throughout the episode and how it kind of ties into the main big thing, which is the death of the very main character that really shocked us all. I'm shaking because this is like, I know it's TV, but it's a character that this show really is good at capturing characters in a way that it makes you feel like you're actually there and you know who they are. So last night we lost Beth in the trade-off, and that was probably the most devastating death on Walking Dead aside from Herschel. Herschel was pretty devastating when the governor actually decapitated him. That tore me up. And last night seeing Beth get shot in the head, that was something. My brother and I were just kind of sitting there just like, what's going on? And we watched Talking Dead after, and Keegan-Michael Key was the same thing. He said he was watching it with his wife, and he had this like weird sense of he had this overflow of emotion. But what happened was in that scene, first off, Maggie thinks that Beth's alive at this point where they're making the trade-off. So Maggie's with the other group. Michonne tells Maggie once they come back, actually, because Abraham brings the group back. Once they come back, Michonne tells Maggie that Beth is Rick and them are trying to save Beth because she's alive. And she's also overcome with emotion, and so they all obviously gather together and go to help. But as a trade-off is going on, they do it fairly. They let the two officers go. First comes Carol, and then comes Beth. But the thing is, Dawn wants Noah back, and Rick didn't want to have any of that. And he said that Noah has every right to choose where he wants to be. You don't own him like that. And there's a moment where it seems like stuff was gonna be okay, but then it ends up not being okay. And Noah sacrifices himself. Beth actually goes to give him a hug, and Dawn says the very thing that she said towards the middle of the episode, which is, I knew he would come back. Beth's like, I get it now. Proceeds to shank Dawn right in the chest, or somewhere here, and Dawn instinctively shoots her in the head, and she gets gunned down by Daryl, who just acted in the spur of the moment. He didn't know how to feel. Nobody knew how to feel. And I thought it was going to be an absolute bloodbath. I thought Rick was going to light up the whole entire hallway, but that didn't end up happening. The officers actually said it was just about Dawn. She was going to snap anyways. Thank you for getting rid of her, basically. And they offered Rick and the group to stay with them because they had been surviving there in the hospital. But Rick said no. And he also extended an invite for them at the hospital to come with them if they wanted to. But getting back to Beth's death, what I thought about it, I think in a weird way it had to happen, because this show runs off of people surviving and dying. That's why it's kind of hard to be very attached to somebody. Beth dying at this point kind of goes to show you how vulnerable everybody is, no matter how strong they look. It started season 3, where we see Beth, kind of be the nurturing part of the group, the more loving and more honest and positive person. After Lori died, she took care of the baby, and then she grows into this really strong person by the end of this mid-season finale. And for her to just go down like that, it's heroic and tragic. And if anybody could rewrite it, I'm sure they would want her to stay there. But somebody had to go, and they let us know at the very beginning of this season that there's going to be some tragic deaths. Bob was one of them. That clearly upset a lot of people. So what more Beth, who's been with us since season 2. So stemming off from that, what else happened in the episode? We see Father Gabriel. He's out after he escaped the last episode, and he sees Bob's leg at the school, and he sees his book bag and stuff, and he kind of breaks down because he realizes how bad it is out there, and that he had a role inadvertently of killing people because of him not sheltering them. And you just see how vulnerable he is. You see how weak he is being caged in like that. And it actually takes Carl and Michonne to save him, for him to realize that the world's ugly and he needs people to be around him in order to survive. It's just a big thing for his characters. It was something that we all got to see. Noah proved to be somebody that was trustworthy. He didn't double cross them or anything. He actually showed them where to go, and Rick was willing to put his own life on the line as well. Abraham coming back with the group and making that decision was great. That was like the one happy thing I could really take from this episode, is them being able to kind of be together. But they did lose a very big part of the group, which was Beth. So that was very sad. They got Carol back. To be honest, I thought Carol was gonna die because of the way she was. You know, she'd been hit by the car by that cop who actually Don had killed in this episode as well, the big dude. And yes, Don and Beth together killed him. And yeah, Carol didn't seem like she could survive anymore, but it ended up being Beth dying in order to protect the people that she loved. And to see that ending, where the group finally pulls up to the hospital, the rest of them with Abraham and Maggie, and to see Rick coming out, and she's kind of happy to see him because she's thinking that she's about to see her sister. Then she sees Daryl. You see Daryl coming out holding, carrying Beth, and you see Maggie just losing it. Like she cried. I'm not gonna lie, I cried too. Okay, it's a character on the TV show, but you could get attached to them. And Beth was awesome. But yeah, it was a very emotional episode. This show is really good at making you think, making you stay on your feet on who's gonna stay alive or not. And they really did a number taking out Beth, and seeing her do her little thing on Talking Dead last night was also pretty heart wrenching because she loved playing the character, she said, and she started crying. And I can speak for a lot of people that she's gonna be missed, and hopefully they don't kill off nobody else. So I can't even talk right now. I hope they don't kill anybody else for the remainder of the season, which is coming back on February. I thought last night's episode was awesome. I just thought that the death of Beth was it's really gonna hurt a lot of people. What I think is gonna happen is there's gonna definitely be some meltdowns in the next season. It's gonna take Maggie a while for her to get in that right state of mind again. But we'll see. I really don't know what to expect. I hope they don't throw in a new bad guy, please, dear Lord, because all that was just ridiculous. So I'd like to see your comments down below. Rip Beth, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.